Yo guys, what's good? Welcome back on the Uncle Shama channel. How are you guys doing? You know what time it is. 1 day to go to Inter versus Bologna. 2 games left, guys. 2 games left, and then we're done for pretty much almost 2 months. And I know it doesn't feel like it, but I am gonna miss Inter. I always do miss Inter, even in the summer, winter break, wherever there's a break. I mean, the international break sometimes is nice when it comes around, just to have like a week or two away from Inter. But this World Cup break is going to be quite long, even though we are struggling. I still like watching my Inter on a regular basis. So yeah, enjoy these previews whilst you can, because this is going to be the penultimate preview. It's going to be this, then obviously match reaction to Bologna, and then Atalanta, and then reaction to Atalanta, and then yeah, maybe World Cup content. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to think of something in that long ass break. But 10 people in the house. Let me give a shout out to the people who are here. Again, I'm sorry for not announcing it earlier in the day. I should be scheduling these much earlier in the day to let you guys know when I'm going live. But appreciate you guys that come through impromptu like this, like Yuha. Yes, we have to win. We have to win. That's the title. 2 games, 6 points. There's no other option for Inzaghi, and it's looking sticky for Inzaghi because the way Marotta's come out the last couple of days as well. Not saying that he's on the chopping block, but it's serious now. Like, it's 7 losses we've got in the league, obviously 5 losses. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, Frank de Boer, I think he had obviously we were counting the 2 Bayern Munich ones, which we kind of expect those 2 losses, but we're in November and we've got 7 losses already, guys. 19 goals conceded in Serie A. It's just absolutely disgraceful. And we went a month kind of, we recovered after the Roma game. Remember, we lost the Roma game. That was probably the lowest, Udinese and then Roma. That was the lowest. And we've been on a high for pretty much since then, Champions League, in the league we've recovered. But as I kept saying, we're not back. We're not back yet. We're not back yet. And once again, as soon as a big game came about, all our frailties, all the weaknesses, all our mental fragility came up once again. So, yeah, and even when I was saying at the beginning of the season, when I was like, are we back, or is this Inter back yet? I just think this is Inter now. I think this is Inter. I think this Inter just isn't that good anymore. Like, not on an ability level, but just on a mental level as well. Just this team just doesn't seem to have it anymore. I don't know what it is. Inzaghi as well. Like, I like Inzaghi, but I don't know. It just, as I said, when those losses happen against Udinese Roma, I just think, at the end of the year, I can't explain it to you guys. That people ask me, like, why do you think it's gonna happen? I just think it's just best to split ways with Inzaghi, and it's not even his fault. But again, I put it more on the players, as I kept saying in our bad period. It's on the players to me. But anyway, let me get to you guys first. Inzaghi makes sub and Galia was scared. No, to go. Language source coming in straight, not even saying hi or anything, straight up with the negativity. Hey Shams, hey Emil. I'm gonna miss the high blood pressure. Yeah, Crew Black. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to find other ways to raise our blood pressure. Yeah, just pick one of the weaker teams in the World Cup. Maybe that will help you replace the drug that is Inter. 2 more therapy sessions. Yes, Basisa, only 2 more therapy sessions. Napoli can't start winning yet. Just watch. Well, I didn't watch the full game, but I watched most of the Napoli game, and yeah, they just look. And Empoli is the game that they lost twice last season. So same way that last season when I was saying that it just feels like Milan are going to win the title with some of the things that are happening with, like, it's that champions luck. It's that those things that you can't like really say. You just got this like you just see things happening for a team, and you just feel like the wind is blowing in their direction. And Napoli, it feels like it's Napoli's year this year. As I said, Empoli, the team that they lost to twice last year, kind of like the bogey team. No problems, no issues this time round. Comfortable, clean sheet, 2-0 win. And they just keep on rolling. They just keep on rolling, and people will keep saying, Spalletti this, Spalletti that. The fall will come is Spalletti. Well, yeah, that's what people said about Pioli. Now, at some point, these guys, these experienced coaches, will turn it. Will go against the stereotype that they've built, obviously, for a reason. Is right that Pioli had this, narrative that the purely high, and then every team drops off after a certain period. Spalletti, we've seen it at Inter, especially after winter or in winter, there's a big drop off from the beginning of the season. But at some point, these guys figure it out, or they get the right group of players, like Pioli did last year, and looks like Spalletti has this year. I don't know, Mattia, about the World Cup. The timing is just not good. Maybe I know you're particularly depressed, and you're a source of positivity and light in the Discord chat as always. But it's just too weird, this World Cup, the timing. I'm still not really particularly excited about it. Yeah, it goes back to that, Indra, pretty much. It pretty much like all the things that we talked about Inzaghi at the beginning when we signed Inzaghi. All those things are still true. Like the reservations about his character, about his spirit. Is he an Inter coach? Like, I just don't think he has those minerals to be the Inter coach. But he has done a good job. But at the same time, if it continues like this, it's just not good enough. And it's not even just me, and it's not my expectations. It's actually like the board this year. Last year was the one that the board actually gave him, like, you come in, and actually last year, if you see the statements from Steven Zhang, Marotta, everyone, last year they expected a big drop off, and then just get us top 4, progress in the round of 16 Champions League, and yeah, you did that, and then we ended up being title favorites in the end, and then bottling the Scudetto. But this year they've actually when you see the statements in the summer, the fact that we didn't sell anyone big in the summer, Lee Perisic, love, obviously free transfer, but we managed to keep Skriniar, we managed to keep the big pieces we added, in theory, better replacements. Lukaku, the way that the board was talking about was Scudetto. Even now, when you talk, when Marotta the other day talked, he's still like trying to saying that there's plenty of time to go in terms of Scudetto race, is an anomaly season and all this kind of stuff. So he's underperforming what the actual expectations are of him from the board this year as well. Obviously, once again, the Champions League is his saving grace, but we are widely underperforming. You can say whatever you want about this team, but we're in Serie A, this team should be much higher, much higher. I have nightmares from Kostic. Yeah, man, he definitely tore us a new one on that left-hand side. Hit the like button, everyone. Thank you, Mattia, for always reminding the peoples. I'm not going to be here for long as well, by the way, guys, physically, because I'm still not feeling too well. I've got like a sore throat, so I can't talk too long. So yeah, I shouldn't stay too long for my own health as well. Yeah, this is the thing as well. It just seems like he's not a marathon. The league is a marathon, and Inter under Inzaghi, we go with too many highs and lows. The same happened last year. We had a good start, then we went on amazing. I think November, December was like our best period where we were looking like the best team in Italy and maybe like one of the best teams in Europe, the way we were playing. But it's just kind of too much ups and downs with Inzaghi. Like we just said, we started off the season awfully, and then we've gone through this beautiful October, and then right back down to earth. Like we can't seem to just, especially this season, we still haven't drawn a game, and there's nothing wrong with drawing games. And we just, like, even the Juve game, if you can just nick a draw there away at Juventus, I'll take that. Roma at home, nick a draw, I'll take that. The Udinese, like, you can't even nick little draws. There's too many highs and lows. That's not the way. You're never gonna win a Scudetto like that. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, how can we go into every big game feeling like we're gonna lose now? Like, I can't even look forward to Atalanta and be positive with you guys. And I mean, even against the Juventus preview, where we're coming off this beautiful run, I still couldn't predict us winning. That I predicted a 1-1 draw, and Juve were without Vlahovic, and this the weakest Juve team in a decade, and I still couldn't predict the win. And they showed why. Like, how can we be like this? It's crazy. This is not Inter. Even on the even on our bad teams, guys. Remember, like even on the Spalletti when we used to finish fourth, just about. We used to go into big games, where it was Napoli. Okay, Juve games are aside. We used to get smacked by Juve, Spalletti, Conte, or whatever. But no, in the Milan derby, obviously Milan were weaker back then. Okay, let's take the Napoli. The Napoli back then were stronger under Sarri, Ancelotti, etc. We used to go into those games, get results in those games. Roma, Lazio, like all the other bigger games. I think Serie A is probably a little bit stronger now in general than it was a couple of years ago. But still, we weren't losing big games every single time. Like, this is just completely unacceptable. And yeah, like the away game is true that most of these games have been away, but that's not really too much of a big reason either. Like, we're not Empoli or something that we have to rely on nicking results away and then try to get some results at home. Like, you have to be. The difference is way too big at the moment. It's way too big. Like, are these players homesick? Yeah, we'll cover the Thuram stuff as well. Yeah, but I don't think there's any denial, Eduardo. Once Auxilio and Marotta have targets, even if they've missed out on them a certain period, they always come back for them. We've seen it over the years, whether that's a good thing or not, but they usually stick with targets over even like a 4 or 5 year period where they come available again. Where they end up at Inter at some point. So I have no doubts that we will go for Thuram, and we have to go for Thuram. We should go for Thuram, 100% Marcus Thuram from Borussia Mönchengladbach. If you don't know who we're talking about, he will be available on a free at the end of the season. But if Bayern Munich come in, then we're not going to win the race. If not the top team, the elite teams come from Marcus Thuram, I'm pretty confident we can wrap that up. Because we'll be able to definitely at least double, triple his current wages from the Gladbach, but we just can't match what other top teams will be able to match in terms of money and project. So 100%. I think we will go for someone like Marcus Thuram, especially with Marotta, Auxilio, like the free agents. They have a special focus on that. But whether we wrap it up or not, I don't know. Yeah, I know we've talked about that as well, who to replace him, but it's getting to a point, Indra, where it's like it doesn't even really matter. It's just about steering the season now, like, because we're already losing too much ground. Like, they will make the decision if we look like we're starting to risk our top four, which at the moment we are, but obviously we can turn things around still. But we're a third way through the season, aren't we now? 38 divided by 3, 13 games. So we're at the 1/3 of the season. And what, we're 7th? It's crazy. Let me just pull up the table just to make you guys depressed a little bit more. But yeah, we're a third way to the season, so it's just about resetting. It's not even about like who do you bring in anymore. This, but obviously, like, we're only 3 points from top 4, which is still very very recoverable. So it's not really even about, like, I've said from the beginning, it's not even about getting the long-term coaching. If we saw Inzaghi, it's just about someone who's able to just steer the ship home until the end of the season and give these guys a kick in the ass. Because as I keep saying, Inzaghi's just going to have to be the guy that takes the fall. Like, as always, the coach has to be. You can't fire 15 players, 15 spoiled brats. You just, one guy and his team, the coaching team, have to take the fall for it, because that's the cheaper and quickest way to do it. And that's the way it's going right now. Yeah, that's the thing. The expectations of the board. I think and you can't blame them as well. Like when you do something, when you're working, like when I do a job, even if I'm given difficult tools to work with in my day job, I try to do the best of that, and I'm convinced that what I did were real results. And I'm sure Marotta, Ausilio, Zhang, Antonello, all the board thought we did a good job this summer with what we had in terms of finances. And when we talked about it in the summer, we did say, bringing Lukaku back, kind of improving the bench, be a few more young talents as well. Obviously, it would have been much better to get Bremer in, but we knew that if we wanted Bremer, we needed to sell Skriniar. So in the balance, it did look like we did things well, but at the moment, it looks like Inter are regressing, and we know we're regressing 100% off the pitch. Hey, Big Jono in the house, come from Australia. Oh yeah, of course, Lukaku has been a massive disappointment. But of course, I can't even blame him. I just don't have the heart to blame him, because you can never blame a player specifically for injuries. And it looks like today, I saw potentially he's going to miss the World Cup. So people that have been saying that this guy is saving himself for the World Cup, saving himself for Belgium. He could because Martin is not going to take him if he's completely unfit, and quite rightly. So it's a very very, very concerning situation. Well, I don't think he was rather lose than draw. He can't control that, but it's just like the team just physically, emotionally just can't get the result over the line, like just even a draw. But yeah, of course, we know Eduardo. Like this 2 years now. Credit to single one of you guys who's been supporting Inter the last couple of years. The problems stem completely, of course, from the top. But at the end of the day, the team on the pitch is good enough. It's good. It's much better than what we're doing right now. It's much better than 24 points. It's much better than 5 losses, and much better than 19 goals conceded. That's the issue. And Inzaghi is not even the first culprit in this whole situation. But as I said, someone has to take the blame, and unfortunately, it is the coach. But the blame should be obviously Zhang, Marotta, Ausilio, blah blah blah. But it is what it is, unfortunately. If Zhang Liams would get top 4, that would be W for me. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be amazing. That result, Suning selling to a good owner, it can't be just anyone. Just because Zhang left, it's a W. But Suning selling to someone, willing to invest long term with good funds in Inter, and us getting top 4, and I'll be happy with that. No, it's Champions League. It just seems like we have to speak about it in different terms. We'll do a meet and greet for my fans. Oh, bro, I don't think anyone wants to do a meet and greet with me. I'm not that big. Then you don't want to run. He will threat your beloved Correa's plays. No, I mean I wanted him ahead of Correa. Okay, 100%. He was supposed to be the guy, as we know. People like to blame Inzaghi for Correa as well, but he was, as I always say, Correa was like 3rd choice or even 4th choice. It was Marcus Thuram who got injured. Then they went for Zapata. Then Atalanta asked for too much. There was a negotiation for Belotti as well, and they wanted too much on his last year of his contract, and he got injured as well. And then they went for Correa. So there's these narratives with Inzaghi about he's getting who he wants, but it's not even really true, because he got him after after it was 3rd, 4th, 5th choice. Personally, no, it's very unlikely. You can't sell starters in January. I know the fan base right now is really against Dumfries, and you guys know I'm not his biggest fan on a technical basis, but it's as long as we can hold out to keep the starting 11, I think that's what we can do. I think if it is January, it's probably going to be Gosens, because he's not a starter, and he probably will want to leave. But yeah, Satriano recall, maybe you might have to do that if these injury situations with the Lukaku persist. And yes, thank you, Mattia, as always. Yeah, of course, Michael. And I'm not saying to fire Inzaghi right now. I'm not. Excuse me. I'm not saying to fire Inzaghi right now or anything. We need to stick together. But I'm just saying it's not going well at all. and I don't like the way he's speaking and his interviews, the way he's reacting to these defeats, because he keeps saying the same stuff about we're very mentally fragile, like the same stuff you, me, everyone on this channel, Inter Worldwide, everyone, talks about with Inter, like this mental fragility. And he's like, we seem to be very mentally fragile, like every negative episode, and we crumble. But it's like, that is your job, brother. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what, Conte definitely, we almost went bankrupt hiring Conte, 12 million net a season, rising contract. But a lot of what he did was trying to, kick this out, this into fragile into team. We saw it on the Spalletti, Mazzarri, Mancini. Like there was always this malaise, this disease within Inter. Like there's always felt like we were a very mentally weak team that would crumble at the most important points. And it seemed like Conte managed to finally get that into or kick it out of these guys. But now it just seems to have evaporated once again. We seem to be a very mentally weak team. Hey, Javi. Ashraf, 28 people watching. Ain't cost a penny. Yeah, exactly, guys. It doesn't cost a penny. It just costs 2 seconds of your life to press the thumbs up. Yeah, exactly. It's shameful to be seventh. It is shameful. It's a strong word, but it is shameful. Yeah, both of them definitely. It's open in Serie A. It's a very open league this year. Yeah, it is. I don't like. I'm not a guy that likes to stick to stereotypes and narratives. And like this is a narrative that Inter, you have to be this kind of sergeant, dictator type coach. But it looks like it is the truth. This is one of the doubts that we had, but it looks like it is the truth. Lafart's going to pocket it by Medel. Actually, when we get into the preview, Medel is now back in midfield. He's been playing centre back for like last 2 or 3 years under Mihailovic, but actually Thiago Motta's moved him back into midfield. Yeah, that's exactly his communication style. I never liked it when there was a Lazio, and he's not improved it whilst he's at Inter. Like he's very basic and very, like I don't think he pretends like nothing's wrong, because he does say that defensively we need to change and we need to sort things out, but it never points to me like he's analyzed things. It's always very basic. Like he just says, like, well, we've conceded 19 goals, we need to improve. Like it's just very, monkey see, monkey do. Like just what we see on the stats. That he just, says that out. Yeah, exactly. And I've said, to me, I've been more disappointed in the players, guys. And this is the last, and we'll move on from this and preview the game. But it's the players, guys. The players, because we'll talk this, Inter Bologna. Well, it was Bologna Inter last year. In reality, every time we talk about these games, like I remember the Lazio game, we thought, oh, we need to get revenge for last year because we lost the way we lost the Lazio game last year. Remember the Di Marco thing, and they played on, and the beef that there was on the pitch, blah blah blah. No, nothing. There didn't seem like there was a team out there for revenge. For the Milan derby, they spend the summer with Theo Hernandez holding, or singing chants about Çalhanoğlu, calling them, son of a beep, and Milan players holding banners against them, winning the Scudetto in their faces after we bottled it. That was nothing. Milan derby got smacked, kicked around, no reaction, no revenge. This Bologna game, you'll say, oh, we need to take revenge from Bologna for what they did to us last year, blah, blah, blah. Radu gate. I don't even want to talk about that because the PTSD from that is still crazy. But this is what I'm talking. This Inter team, they don't even see this. Doesn't seem like they're motivated like that, whereas they should be. You think, when I saw Lautaro, Di Marco, etc., crying, I thought this season they would have the fire up their ass and they would be, monsters. They would be like, approaching this season with eye of the tiger, but they haven't. So to me, as I keep saying, Inzaghi is just the guy that may have to take the fall for this, and he's just not able to get, he's getting everything out of the players, I think, but he's not getting the extra 1 or 2, 3% that you need to get at this level. That's what I'm saying. I think the players are behind. We saw even in the bad periods, and we recovered from it, that the players, he hasn't lost the dressing room. he's definitely a player's coach. Like the players like him, respect him, but I don't know if they respect him to that level. They're definitely not scared of him. And I don't think he's got that ability to get just that extra bit of cynicism out of them, the bit of grinta out of them. All these chances that we keep missing. It was the same issue on the Conte. How many times we talk about on the Conte, like XG, the amount of chances we create, but we're just not clinical. Even with when Lukaku was here, and then obviously we turned it around in the second half of the last season, and we became a machine. But it was a running theme under Conte as well. So to me, it's the players. I always keep saying this season I'm so disappointed with all of our players. Even my favorite player, Skriniar, obviously is at the contract situation, but every single player has disappointed me this season. I'm not just doing performance, but just mentally or spiritually, what they're putting on that pitch. It doesn't seem to me what I would have expected from these guys. Yeah, I don't blame you. You're scarred, and Kulibaba is also scarred. Hello from Chicago. What's up? Yeah, exactly. I always said about the Radu thing. We were drawing that game at that moment, and then we just lost it. But I didn't see that Inter team being able to pull a win in that game either. Yeah, exactly. Lacking passion, motivation on Bastoni. Yeah, I don't know about that. That one is someone needs to answer the question on Bastoni. Yeah, the thing about subs as well, even though it's a thing that we used to moan about Conte, Spalletti. Like once you have a coach, like I feel like he can never, unless he gets the results, he never like really pleases anyone with the results. But at the same time, like the Juve game, he makes subs, but they don't really have an impact into the game. Like what game is it this season where we felt like, oh yes, his subs made an impact? Like I think it was Dumfries came on in the Lecce game, the first one, and we got he won, he got the goal that won the game, that last minute winner. But what game is it that this season that we felt like our subs came on and kind of changed the game? So yeah, that's definitely another continuing weakness with Inzaghi. The reading of the game is very frustrating. Yeah, of course, we missed Bastoni against Juve. But anyway, bloody hell, 26 minutes. My God, time really flies when you're just like ranting and vibing. Let me see actually what the I put a poll into the. I'm gonna end it now. So the poll, 53% said. So I asked the question: will Inter get 6 points from the next two games? And there was 43 votes, and 53% said no. Wait, that's not that percentage doesn't sound right. 53% and 46%. The YouTube's having a mare there, but yeah. So people are not even confident that we're going to be able to get 6 points out of these next two games. It is what it is. Yeah, don't worry. I'll wrap it up. Thank you, Jono, for reminding me, also for taking care of my health more than me. But I will. Let's get into the match preview. Oh yeah, quickly. Good news regarding Skriniar. I mean, I'm not gonna jump the gun, but it looks like news coming out of Italy, coming out of France specifically. These guys. This guy here, Santi, he was one of the main guys telling us that Skriniar was going to PSG. Blah blah blah. So it seems like things are pointing towards something happening soon. And Skriniar, I think over the World Cup break, something could be happening. And according to the report I read today here, Inter Extra reporting, Skriniar's wife is also very happy in Milan, will not want to move to Paris. Can never underestimate the power of the wife, of the partner, when it comes to these types of things. It might sound silly, but it is. These things are important for sure. Dropic, what's up? Thank you very much for coming through. Are you a new channel member, or is this Emira Dropic? Because I know there's another Emira Dropic, or is this a different account? But thank you. Yeah, we got Napoli straight after the World Cup break. Of course, that was going to be a big game. Yeah, 100%. Shakir, how did I become an Inter fan? Well, quickly, little abridged version. I grew up in Italy. I like the color blue. I fell in love with the original R9, Ronaldo, Vieri, Recoba, all those types of guys in the Moratti era. And grew up, kind of not near Milan. It's like 3 hours plus, kind of like 3.5 hours, 4 hours from Milan. But that's my story with Inter. Hey, Simple FIFA in the house. Make sure you guys check his channel out and check him out on Twitch. Predicted lineup for tomorrow. No surprises apart from Il Maestore Marcelo Epic Brozzo, Crocodile, could be returning as a starter. What do you guys make of that? Because this is the Sky Sport Italy predicted lineup, and this is the Gazzetta. So Gazzetta is saying that Hakan retains his spot, with Mkhitaryan retaining his spot, whereas Sky Sport saying that Mkhitaryan drops out for Brozovic and our usual midfield trio returns. What do you guys think? Because I think I'm just at the moment struggling to leave out Hakan in that position. Against Atalanta, I would definitely continue with what we've been playing with, but against Bologna, I'm ready to kind of welcome Brozo back. Give him the minutes that he needs to get back into shape. But against Atalanta, I would continue with Hakan personally. Milan nil at half time. I'm still spewing we never got Giroud, especially because he started almost. Yeah, Giroud was very, very close to us, very, very close to us a few times, and especially under Conte. But we got Dzeko. I think, of course, he scored those really important goals for Milan last season, Giroud. But I think, between Dzeko and Giroud, the current Dzeko and Giroud, there's not too much, I think. But maybe Giroud just edges it because he feels like he's really in really still peak physical shape, whereas Dzeko, you can really see him slowing down. Hey, Anthony Priv in the house, of course, Mr. Interworldwide. Make sure you guys check him out and his beautiful, beautiful videos. And I saw he was on a little bit of a rant in his last video. I enjoyed it very much. Brozo, Skriniar captain. I mean, you guys know my answer. For me, it's Skriniar, but if Brozovic starts, it will be Brozovic because he ranks higher in seniority in this team for the time he's been here. Normal batteries, positive faster, yeah. I mean, that Matty Doms is out for this game and for the Atalanta game. There was a news out today that Matty Doms has injured has got an injury, which will rule him out of this game and the Atalanta game. So Matty Doms' 2022 is over, unfortunately. And I would have liked to see actually because Dumfries probably hasn't been performing well the last few games. So I would have liked to see Matty Doms or Bellanova. But again, I think Dumfries, I don't want people to start, I don't like when the fan base starts singling out players too much. Like Dumfries, obviously, is catching a lot of flack now because of the Juve miss. And in general, his technical deficiencies being, shown up around the world now. But I still think, Dumfries is, good enough for this Inter team. He just needs to turn it around. When he gets those chances, he needs to tuck them away. He needs to be involved more at the end of the pitch and show what he was showing us to last season, which is weird because last season it was his, his first season in Serie A after the Eredivisie, and he actually, even he had a struggle at the beginning last year. Let's not forget, Inzaghi was like, giving him drip drop minutes into the team, and then he took over. But this season, you thought he would come and go even an extra game, but he hasn't. So it has been a little bit disappointing. Why not Aslani Shazgosh? Simple FIFA, bro. You know what the deal is now. He's gonna, especially now, bro. There's no point rotating now. We've got 2 games left. Just go for what you think the strongest team is. I think with Lautaro, it probably is just a case of, he has been playing every single game, every single minute this season when he's been fit pretty much. So it's a case of making sure he's ready, fit and firing for the Atalanta game. But Aslani Yeah, you just know now that Brozovic is back, now that Hakan's also the vice Brozovic, I think Aslani is really going to have his time cut very, very short, unfortunately. Yeah, actually, I would have said that Dzeko. I mean, against Juventus, Dzeko was the one that looks the drained Dzeko that we remember from last season. So actually, I would have preferred to rest Dzeko over Lautaro this game. But at the same time, you gotta make a decision at some point. Yeah, 100%. Brozo's still the best CDM, but again, at the same time, he's coming back from like over a month out, so he's not going to be like back to his best. So this Bologna game is probably the better game to play him rather than Atalanta game for sure. He's not gonna. He's 20. He's 25, 26. He's not gonna learn how to dribble at this age. You either have it or you don't. He just doesn't have the quick feet for it. Crossing, definitely he needs to improve, especially his first time crosses. But he's just limited in terms of technical ability. And he's a guy that started actually professionally later than a lot of other people have. I'd rather have Kondreva than Dumfries. Yeah, I mean, when I was doing streams back when Kondreva was there, everyone used to hate on Kondreva, so it's one of those things. He on his day, Kondreva, he's got beautiful whippage and delivery and individual moments, but again, I feel like people are very much using Dumfries as a little bit of a scapegoat at the moment, just like a couple of weeks ago Correa was, and then Gagliardini was before that. Who else was it before? Barella when he was being stinky. De Vrij at the beginning of the season. Like there's always a period when there's a certain scapegoat. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with sympathy for him, but at the same time, like as I said, there's 2 games left now. He's gonna go for the safe options. What's up, Jose? We'll get top 4. We'll advance in CL Inzaghi in. Appreciate your positivity. There's not been much positivity in this chat, so thank you for bringing it. Yeah, let's finish up with the predictions, guys. Quickly, let me show you the Bologna lineup. They play a 4-2-3-1, but it's quite fluid with Thiago Motta. They kind of switch between 3 and 4 at the back because Medel, as I said, he's moved into midfield now. He's not centre back anymore. But when they build up, he drops into the middle of the back 2 and becomes a back 3. He starts to be the regista. Obviously, man to watch out for, the main guy who was Serie A top scorer until recently, Arnautovic. Yeah, Cambiaso, we were close to signing him instead of Bellanova in the summer, but he's on loan from Juventus. There's Lewis Ferguson, but he's in Sky Sport Italy. He's starting instead of Dominguez. So he's been scoring. I think he's got 2 or 3 goals this season. Scotsman they've signed this year has been getting some goals from his runs from midfield. So he's one to watch out for. But apart from that, not much to watch out for. They've been in decent form under Thiago Motta recently. And once again, another triplete return to San Siro after, obviously, Mourinho's been returning since last season. But, the Stankovic one and now Thiago Motta. I don't think this one will be as emotional or as, get us in the heart as much as the Stankovic one. But for me personally, I like Thiago Motta more as a player than Stankovic in terms of, not for Inter, obviously Stankovic far superior in terms of heritage and history at Inter, but Thiago Motta was more my type of player, those technical regista, 1-touch, 2-touch type of players. So yeah, it's going to be weird seeing him on the other bench, but I do wish him to have a good career as a coach, but obviously not tomorrow. Yeah, as I said, Lewis Ferguson for his goal scoring recently, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Vignato is a good talent if he does start. This boy out here, very young Italian who was broke through under Mihailovic and he's kind of disappeared, but he is a very interesting talent. But apart from that, not much for me to watch out for. Let's finish up with the goal predictions, match predictions. Yeah, I'm predicting on this one. On this one, I'm pretty confident because that's one thing with Inzaghi. Obviously, speaking about Bologna, it is funny saying we're confident, but remember Bologna at home last season, we beat them. Was it 6-1? I think it was. It was our biggest scoreline last year. So I am predicting a win for this one. I think we may concede one again, just because I'm just still not convinced by this defending. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for Inter. 1-1 Debika, 2-1 lost Besiza, 1-1. So yeah, there's definitely a negativity in the chat. Yeah, Dzeko's heading has been very, very off since he's come to Inter, really. We will score first and lose 2-1. Jesus. Yeah, exactly. King Darian, remind the peoples. Yeah, Arnautovic, we gave up on him, or we didn't sign him on a permanent. So yeah, and he's those types of players. I like him a lot. Arnautovic, I would always take him as a potential backup option at Inter now that he sorted his head out. But yeah, he does give that extra bit at Inter because I think he does feel like they didn't believe in him. 3-1 pixelated. Yeah, at home this season we have been really, really, really good. 2-0. Jono says 4-1. Joseph says Brodzo goal. Oh, that would be nice. Getting Brodzo scoring on his 10. 2-1 and everyone forgives Limone. Now I don't think anyone's forgiving Limone until we need that Atalanta win. But John was already predicting us to lose 2-0, so no hope on that one. But yeah, guys, as I said, I need to go. My throat is about to give up on me. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Spend about 25 minutes ranting and talking about Inzaghi and Inter situation, which wasn't my actual plan. But it is what it is at the moment when there's so much negativity going on. This is what happens. Hey, Sasha in the house, we need to get tougher. We're too nice. Exactly, bro, 100%. We need to get that tough streak back. I don't want close wins anymore. We need to show character. Yeah, we do need one like killer win. Like we need like one game where we're just like, sweeping the team aside like we did Bologna last year. So thank you everyone and tune in. Make sure you leaving thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. Yeah, that's probably true as well. Thank you everyone that tuned in. Thank you Eduardo. Thank you Mattia. Thank you Jono. Thank you Besisa, Sasha, King Darian, Pixelated, Shakir, Debbie Kerr, Emil, Yuha, Kuro Black, Simple FIFA, Joseph Frakes, Mighty Mao, Balkan Warrior, Shakir. Yeah, everyone, you've been great. And see you tomorrow for the post-match reaction, which hopefully will be a positive one. Yeah, scorers, Skriniar, and Skriniar, maybe to get maybe a Tuku goal if he starts, a Correa stat pad goal, and maybe a Dumfries redemption goal. Ciao ragazzi, Forza Inter.